Hi, Warriors. A very low volatility day. Don't you agree? Hi, Mike. Bran, get a hobby. Hi, Sinatra. I don't have a hobby either. Hi, Kay. Ryan. All right, guys. So EG is going to be, I think, the event for the last couple of days of the week. We'll see what happens there. I don't think we have a reversal week. Can you guys hear me?
Oh yeah, good morning, coach.
Hey, buddy.
I know. What are we doing awake right now?
Well, we're serving the community.
It's for the better good. You know,
Yeah.
I was second guessing it, and then you're like, "Well, I have an interview," and I'm like, "Well, dang it, I'll get up with you."
Oh, yeah. So Nargis Sully really looks forward to it. So, you can't make too much out of this action, but dollar's giving it back, and Aussie keeps pushing, and Canada, here's the trap door. I don't know if we'll get there the next couple of days, but under the trap door, that's it. I think. And the yen is just stubborn. It won't break. It won't rally. Maybe we get something there. But you know what really has performed well? It's passed every test. Has been the bond market. So I drew this line in. It looked like it could be resistance for an ascending triangle. But when I drew the line in, I didn't know how much validity it would have, but look, it proved itself. It came back to the breakout and has rallied, hasn't made new highs, but at least you have if you bought them well, and I was talking about them down here after these failed auctions, you have a nice lead, so you protect it now with stops under 93. Some people might want to give it 92, but I go, why? If we take out that breakout level, there'll be some type of correction. So if the market,
Dale, that was following that 20-year auction yesterday. It was a strong auction, and it pulled, all the fixed, all the fixed income, rallied. And I
yeah,
actually blogged about the 10-year yesterday, just because I think that we are nearing some really key resistance, like an inflection point.
support.
Yeah, and on the ZNs really is what I blogged it on, but
Oh, okay.
obviously you're looking at the inverse of the yields, which is fine. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean it's really close to a breakdown in yields.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And I could even give, if you want a target, you could either look for equality, this from here, or you could look for some fib extension from here, and it all measures back towards these lows. Okay, even taking them out, I mean, you could actually come up with 3% yields over the coming weeks or months. And that's dramatic. And, I was thinking about it. What will benefit the most from lower yields? Everything. I would say, the dollar will be under pressure. I don't see how it hurts gold or silver. Um, I keep thinking that maybe part of it might be some type of correction in the S&Ps, but it could also just be more jet fuel that, lower yield support breaks in the market. So um, I have pretty high conviction about this too, that this was a failing rally and we'll get something like this from here. And I don't know, I haven't seen the DSI in a while, but the bonds have been rallying for a few weeks now, maybe a month. Are people starting to become bullish on the bonds now, like
Well,
DSI was?
we posted every evening in the news and research room in the chat rooms. And
Okay.
so last night I'm looking at it right now. I hadn't looked at ZNs because I was really focused on more of the Nasdaq and volatility. Let me just take a real quick look. I'm looking at it right now. It's just
Oh,
fumbling through the so
small.
they're only in the mid to high 60s. Um, a lot of daily sentiment has not. You don't get you get really
Extremes.
you get extremes when you get higher volatility and higher and sharper moves. When what I've noticed over the last, however many years we've been looking at daily sentiment is when it's a grinding markets, it's hard to get to extremes because everything's just grinding. So yeah, the like the 10-year and the TLT, I mean, you're the 30, the notes in the bonds, you're talking, 68 in the bonds and 64 in the notes. So not
Okay.
super extreme at all.
Okay. Well, you know what? I think that we'll see 90s in the bonds when we get up here. I think we're
If
going to
we do, yeah,
120.
yeah, yeah, I would agree with that.
120. And you know what? 120 sounds ridiculous here, but what is it? A 38% retracement of the crash? That's all it is. Back to old resistance,
Yeah, and that
108.
seems, what seems so logical to me is because no one believes that the bond market will rally with all the issuance that is hitting the
Right,
market. Like
right.
no one believes that trade is even possible, which makes it all the more possible.
Yeah. And it may be that we'll start getting some weaker numbers in the employment reports. We're already getting, pretty good inflation numbers. So the last piece of the puzzle is probably going to be uh, employment weakening. Uh, you know, the next NFP might be, the one. So we'll see. Glenn saying it's like watching paint dry today. Well, today's a good day to talk about trading technique, and that's why I pointed that out. That, if you bought the bonds well, you should have taken partials and put something on the books, but, you just keep trailing your stops instead of saying, well, I'll get out of it. It was a great trade. Now you have a trail. I mean, when I was talking about buying them here, because it tested the bottom of the wedge line again, you have a huge lead. So even if it trades under 103, it's a huge winner. But you could let it go and see what it has left in it. I still think it's not going to be a big problem to take out the highs that we had on the first wave up.
So the question is, Dale, and this is where you're like, okay, well, that makes sense, Dale, if I bought TLT a couple weeks ago when you're talking about it. But
Yeah.
if you're gonna be buying it now, you know, you gotta ask yourself, is this a place where fresh buyers are going to be stepping in? And if it is, that's where you can be moving up your stops. That's where you can even be adding to positions if you want, which you should be on trends that are going to extend themselves for. And so if you go back to what we were just talking about a few minutes ago and you go look at the 10-year ZNs and you know that we're at a 618 retracement, the 111 level is really big. And if the 111 level breaks, that there's probably going to be new fresh buying coming in. So that can tell you a lot
Yeah.
about how you add up to a position, how you manage a position, how you move
Right.
your stops, how you if you double up on your position, where your break even point's going to be, and are your stops going to allow for some sort of cushion should your full position be taken. Those are the questions that I like to ask when I'm in a position and I'm going to add to it. Is there going to be fresh buyers coming in at this level, and why would they?
Okay. Well, we have a couple numbers by the end of the week, right? That could move the bond market. Don't we have an inflation number?
This week we have PMIs. So this
Okay.
is where we're gonna see if US exceptionalism continues to wane or not.
Yeah. Well, all you have to do is watch the news and you can see it waning. Um, anyway, are the
Oh,
guys?
Dale, you're in the local news death loop. Get out while you can. Get out of the
No,
mainstream media death loop while
international
you can.
news. International news. So Ryan K, uh, you guys Does this put you to sleep?
Shh, Dale, we're trying to get some sleep over here.
That's
You know,
what I
you're lucky we're
thought.
not down the pub, actually.
Oh, okay. I'll move my microphone away from my mouth so no one could hear.
Everyone got up early for the 7 a.m. data from the UK, and then everyone wished they'd stayed in bed.
The BOE is tomorrow, Ryan?
Yeah, yeah, but we had
Okay.
CPI data today.
Okay. So, I mean, it doesn't look bad. It didn't even get down to 620. If it does, I still say you buy breaks here. And
Yeah,
I don't know what's going to move the yen one way or the other. Looks stuck. Maybe that'll be it. Those numbers. Anyway, I think one of the biggest trades of the year is going to be this. I can't see how this is anything but distribution for 2 years. That's a long time to be in a sideways trading pattern. So
yeah,
we could break out, I guess, but what's going to do it? And I think one of the old correlations that hasn't worked in a while, no matter what the direction is, after listening to Zach yesterday, and prior to that, I asked Anaz El Haji, and he just gave me, well, crude prices will be stable. But the fact that we had this, a breakdown, and now we're trading here, I would buy any break in crude now. Some type of fib correction if we get one, maybe back to 78 or 76, because I could make the case. I can see how he could come up with 120. Basically, what you do is you take this move, you know, uh, what was that, from 68 to call it 80, almost $20. Okay. And then you take 1.618 of $20 and you have, 32. That's going to give you 104. But you could get, yeah, you could get up to over $100 here if we have even equality. We'll take it to 100, and I don't think it's going to be rationalized by just every economy humming and more demand. I think it'll be part of it. I think it might be supply issues.
yeah.
So
That would see dollar CAD breaking down, wouldn't it?
that's right. So that's an old correlation and might come back if we
Yeah,
get strong energy prices. So just trying to put together, rationalize my narrative.
yeah,
So that would be one. So most people are bearish crude because of the weakening economy. Even guys that are bullish a market are bearish crude. I don't know. This to me was telling that you had the market on the ropes, you had the bulls on the ropes, and now you have the bears on the ropes. So I think you have to buy the dip in energy. And that's about what I see today on the board. Uh, the other two key things is silver held, but will it continue to hold? I mean, look how many tests we've had here. It could be good, and just launch. You have one drive, two, or if we take out support, there's some space under here. Um, Gold looks a little better, but the sign of a strong market is it's in that a correction, it corrected its overbought condition in time rather than price. So this too is running out of time I think, to break down. We start getting back over, you know, 2340 or so, and we're on our way uh, to test these highs. So it's hard to be bearish a dollar and be bearish gold. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
I do think that we're going to get a break here in the dollar down to these levels.
You know, I'm gonna show you something here in
Go
a
ahead.
moment. And matter of fact, Dale, I'm gonna show you something with the commitment of traders, because you were
Okay.
discussing the Canadian dollar, and I think it's something that is worth noting. Just because, I think everybody's got to understand the course of. Here, let me grab the charts really quick.
Yeah, I think the smart money is long USD CAD, right? And the public is short.
Well,
Is that
no,
correct?
if you think about like how bearish we were dollar CAD back here in the 135 levels. I think you interviewed, well, I both of us
Oh,
interviewed
you did.
at a button,
Yeah.
and then had uh Deer Point uh Deer Point Capital. Oh
Hmm.
geez, I can't think of this. Anyway, um Deer Point Macro, is that what his name? Anyway, I say his first name, but I don't want to, because it's because I know his first name, and he's not. We don't use his first name in public. Anyway, um, everybody was really bearish the Canadian dollar through here, and I was too. And there's one of my better trades of earlier this year is just being short dollar CAD, or short Canadian in general, playing the Euro CAD and the dollar CAD higher. When it broke through this level, it was a big one. Now we are up towards, as you pointed out, up towards really key resistance. But I want you to see this. This is something that's really concerning me. This is the Canadian dollar. This is CFTC data. And what you see here is that green line. Notice how low it is. That means the large like speculators in the market are short Canadian dollar. So that means the large speculators are expecting
To go
um
up.
to go higher, and they're very lopsided right now. And so that's the one thing that makes me a little nervous about being short Canadian dollars. But I understand, I mean, I think we all understand what the bearish narrative is of the Canadian economy.
Right.
The so that's why I'm like very I'm very mixed. And even on this week ahead video, I mentioned it. I'm like, I'm very torn here about being too bearish the Canadian dollar at this moment. I think in order to see a move like this, you're going to have to see a dollar move. And then, as you just pointed out, it's hard to be, gold so bullish, it's hard to be a dollar bull. So I'm skeptical. I don't have any Canadian dollar position as a
Yeah.
result, but I wanted to show
Okay.
you guys that, because I think it's fairly significant. But let's talk about a few things, because we have uh, one, two, three central banks coming up, right? We have the Swiss National Bank overnight. We have the Norges Central Bank, and we have the Bank of England. Obviously, it's going to happen about an hour before we meet tomorrow, but we'll be around, as the market's moving, broadcasting during F.A.C.E. So well, we haven't heard from Kman this morning. Let's talk to Kman. And are you looking for a Swiss National Bank surprise cut again?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I see. No, as I said, it's really a dime on its side. I'm not going to call whether they cut or not. There's actually a very surprising article out by one of the bigger investment banks, saying that Jordan may actually try to bring over that they may sell FX again to counter inflation. And I don't know where they get that from. I would rather look at if there is any comments that
Is that is that what caused
saying that
the Swiss weakness overnight?
already got a little bit of a slap on the hand by the Swiss corporates, because the Swiss franc has actually been strengthening over the course of the past week or two. No, there is a case for them to cut, but there is equally a good case for them to hold, really. I mean, the data are having shown a few green shoots. The inflation is hovering just below the 1.5% mark, but will they, with their a cut to 1.25 is going to bring them really close to where it is, or even in one or two of the past months, below where inflation actually is. So I mean, it's really, really, really a very, very close call on the rate. But I think it's all going to be about what Jordan says about the Swiss franc or about FX. If they do hold, but they comment on FX, it's going to be a bit of a tough trade. But then if they hold and they don't comment on FX at all, I would say then Swiss franc could actually strengthen a bit more. The most bearish one, of course, would be if they cut and Jordan says, well, I mean, we don't want the Swiss franc to strengthen too much, but it's really an open question. I'm not going to have any positions. I thought I may have a little try in somewhere a small short Swiss cross somewhere, but I think I'm just gonna hold off and wait for what they say.
Yeah, since this is happening in the middle of the night for me, I'm going to have a couple orders out at extreme levels and see if I can take advantage of those as well. So, Ryan, did you have anything to add regarding the Swiss National Bank?
No, I spoke about this one on the trade-off this week. I'm eyeing it for a bit of an opportunity if we see a move higher in Euro Swiss, because I think the half of this has been the Euro side of the trade being under the cosh of the elections, French elections and whatnot. I don't see that risk being removed soon. So a rally in this one, maybe up to sort of 96, that sort of area. You've got a moving average there.
Yeah,
there might be a bit tempting.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead, Kman.
No, I didn't say anything.
You didn't? Okay, sorry about that. I thought you were saying something.
But I would be on. I'm not going to get involved in Euro Swiss. I certainly wouldn't be. It wouldn't be my preferred pair to buy because I don't like the euro either. But I would be perhaps on the other side unless Jordan says that they want to sell FX and buy Swiss. But I would be on the other side in some other pair, perhaps an antipodian Swiss also.
Got it. All right. Well, we got Swiss National Bank coming. We also have the Norges Central Bank. But before I get into that, I just want to point out that if you guys are trading, sterling, we had it. We had the CPI data that came out overnight, and I mean, looking at the CPI, I mean, I guess PPI was a little hotter on the inputs. I mean, did you guys see anything that really should have moved us higher?
No, I mean CPI was on the money in terms of expectations. Yeah, the year-on-year PPIs, well, one went up and one went down, but that the PPI output was higher year-on-year, which shows that producers are still charging more, even though they're paying less for their input costs. The services inflation was flagged up. That didn't come down as much as expected. Only came down 2 pips. So that was. But then there was some readings in that a lot of that might have been the minimum wage rise we got in April feeding through to services. So yeah, if you click on the macro tab, I updated the macro one for that one this morning with all the bits and bobs you can do there. All it's done is really sort of reduce the last of the expectations for a cut tomorrow. A lot of the market was out August and further on anyway. So really tomorrow's BOE is going to be about when they signal cuts. Is it going to be August? Is it going to be later? They're going to hold off for longer. So I think that the votes are going to be the most important thing we get from them tomorrow.
Okay. Well, and what should we be looking for as far as the votes go?
I think we're expecting a 6-3. I'll have to check it. I'm not. No, expecting another 7-2. So 7 votes for unchanged. Yeah. And 2 voting for a cut. So if they want to indicate that a cut is imminent, they'll move. A strong signal will be a 5-4 for unchanged versus a cut, which means it only takes one more vote to flip the switch and bring that cut. So yeah, 6-3 will be a little bit more dovish, but probably not as much as the market would like.
So watching the votes, because the votes is a good way for the MPC to express what they want to do, even though it's a political, they can't do it for political reasons right now. It'll lead us down the road on what to expect moving forward.
It's sure a classic bear flag you have there, Blake.
Yeah, it's especially after breaking an ascending channel. So
Yeah.
now that we have a bear flag consolidation, if we do get that vote that Ryan, whoops, I didn't want to do that. Let me reverse that. So if what happens, what Ryan just illustrated, that we get a vote that suggests there might be a cut coming in the next meeting, there's your bear flag target, which would also be a 618 retracement around 125. Let's just call it 125.25. That would be the target of any bearish breakdown in sterling. Speaking of which, if you don't think that that can happen, we do have the European elections coming up at the end of the month. You have the euro that's had a decent recovery, also in a descending channel. I believe that the euro could very easily, as Kman was just saying that he's not so constructive on the euro ahead of this. I could see the euro coming right back down to this major triangle support here in the euro, which would come in around 106.50 over time. We had a question that came in just a bit ago from Gordon. Gordon says, is it dollar weakness that's making gold bullish, or is it gold bullish that's making the dollar weakness? First of all, I think gold's bullish as it is. So I do think that the dollar is going to struggle a little bit. We can see gold and the dollar move up at the same time. I mean, that's a fact. And you see that during periods of stress in the markets when there is risk aversion. Obviously, we haven't seen risk aversion in, I don't know, 15 years or so, minus a month and a half of COVID. But when you see stresses in the market, the dollar and gold can catch a bid at the same time. Typically speaking, more times than not, they are inverse. I do believe that the gold market is extremely bullish, and the dollar's held up very well despite what gold's done. So it's hard to put my finger on, or our finger on, one or the other. I do believe that the dollar is doing things that it probably shouldn't be doing, despite gold being, perched above 2,300. So there's that. So anyway, just to address your question.
How does Aussie Kiwi look? Because I noticed today, Aussie up, Kiwi down. So is Aussie leading the way? Okay, that's what I thought.
It
All
is,
right.
and matter of fact, just before the RBA this week, Mark Chandler, he actually sent me a message. He's like, "Look, I'm buying Aussie Kiwi, and this is down here before it broke out, ahead of the RBA, and it broke out." And just so you all know, Mark Chandler, he's been a friend of ours for a long time. I've known him for about 15 years or so, back when he was at Brown Brothers. He's going to be joining us in our community in after he comes back from this trip. He's basically going to be in our community and jumping in the chat rooms from time to time. He just wants to, be in a place where he can be chatting with people and not worry about being trolled on the internet, and people, talking crap. He just wants to be in a community where he can talk about the markets. So he's going to be in the ForexAnalytix community
Wow,
starting the next month or two. Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah, like I said, he's been a good friend of mine for many years. When I was trading for Gelos, one of the guys that traded with me traded with Mark back even before Mark was at Brown Brothers, and they've known each other for like a quarter century. So the three of us used to banter quite a bit, when I was trading for Gelos Capital for all those years. So yeah, really cool guy. But anyway, I just went down
We
a
were
rabbit hole.
both on we were both on the CME floor at the same time.
Oh, no kidding. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. He's such a he's such a well-rounded gentleman, and he's
Yeah.
so well versed in not only the currency market but in politics. He wanted to join the Fed. I was having a conversation with him a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, I wanted to join the Fed, and and I knew he was doing it. He was making trips back and forth to Washington,
Yeah.
DC, and he's just like, they just don't pay enough, So
Well, that's
for
why
the work you got to do,
that's
and,
why
and
Joseph Wang left, I think. So
well,
yeah.
you look at a lot of those Fed governors, and it's kind of like referees in professional sports, right? Most referees, if you're watching a baseball game or football, and you see those refs that are, they're doing it as kind of to cap off their career. A lot of them are successful business attorneys, lawyers, independent business people. You look at, like Fed Chair Powell. I mean, he made all of his money, in the private sector, and now is doing what he's doing. And that a lot of officials are that way because, they make all this money in the early parts of their career, and then, you know, so I was just chatting with Mark about that. He's such an interesting fellow. Anyway, going back to, and he understands the mechanics and the plumbing of the market. That's I think the thing that's so fascinating about him. It is time. Real quick before we go, I just want to ask this, with Kman and Ryan. Norges Central Bank tomorrow. Any surprises that you guys are looking for there?
No, should be a firm hold, and that's it. I don't think we should expect any big surprises from the Norges Bank tomorrow.
And you can see that really, really tight range. I'm looking at 110 to 1050, sorry, to the 200 DMA, which is at 1072, and then the key resistance is at 1080. So basically a big range in the market here. Be surprised if we break out of it, but you're not expecting anything. Ryan, do you have any insights there?
Nope, zero.
Okay. One last thing. I'm going to leave you guys. I'm going to leave you guys with this. One of the things I love about holidays, when you get into a holiday period, is when things get pushed during periods of low liquidity. This is the US dollar South African rand. You can see how we're coming off like literally 9 days of straight down in the dollar rand, where you could argue that it's very oversold, and we pushed through some pretty critical support through a triangle. You get moves like this in very thin liquidity at very overextended moves, and when they do this, I start looking for reversals, because this is the market, and a lot of market makers just pushing stops, seeing how far they can get the market to move, trigger as many stops as they can before reversing. So keep an eye on the dollar rand. We pop our head back above 1805, really 1815, and that just would be a false breakdown. It usually leads the other direction. So I love situations like this during periods of very low liquidity. So keep your eye on the dollar rand. We might be setting up for a little bit of a reversal, especially with the elections that are passed now, and now they've flushed all the stops. Things like that I'll be looking for. If you want to join us in the ForexAnalytix community, one of the most active trading communities in the markets, come join us. It's only $1 for 10 days. Download the mobile app when you do that. Use all the tools that we have available to you, 30 different instruments, not just currencies, risk management tool, live squawk feed, Twitter feeds. Our chat room is where it's at. Plus, you have live analysis from our team that are private for the ForexAnalytix traders as well. So I'll see you there. Kman, Ryan, thank you guys for being here today on this Juneteenth holiday that sneaks up on me because it's a new holiday. I forget about it until it's here, and I'm like, oh crap. And I think the Juneteenth holiday got Dale and I this week. So
Yep. Yeah. So
thanks, Dale,
anyway,
for being here. Thanks for being here on the holiday too, and taking an interview with Nargis. She's great to listen to, and a great technician. So
well,
thanks.
someone once told me, Blake, to be there for the good times, you have to be there all the time.
That's right. That's right.
All right. So here we are all the time for our community. Tells you about, we care. We could have taken the day off, no sweat, but people count on us being there, and there's good reason that they do. It's because we are. So thanks, team. Probably gone already. Ryan,
Cheers, mate.
came
Thank
in.
you.
All right. Anything you need me to tweet, let me know, guys. All right. And have a great day of watching paint dry, and we'll all be back together when the casino reopens tomorrow.
Thank you, Dale. Have a great interview.
Okay, guys. All right. Nargis, Motorwalla,
Hi, good
Secret
morning.
Agent. Good morning, 007.
How
What
are
do you?
you?
Good. How about you? How you feeling?
I'm doing good. Yeah, half the year is done. It's the card witching week.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
yes.
And
And
full
again, as
moon.
you and I meeting, let's see if the market pulls back in the coming days. But time to buy puts probably again.
Yeah. Coincidentally, is that happens. We meet about once a
Yes.
quarter, right?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
is that what you're seeing? Have any of your numbers from the last
Yes.
interview been
E- e-
met or surpassed?
Um, it's a little bit surpassed, but I mean, we do have the original cycle at 7,569. So
Okay.
I was looking for the midpoint to see how how things go. So right now we are just around the midpoint, 51.85 to 56.25 zone, and now we have to see at the moment there's a very strong momentum in the market, right? So when it
Yes.
goes, it just goes, and then it's very tough for it to even gracefully pull back a little bit, coming to the mean on a smaller time frames. So it does that. So it's a beast. So, and then when it does, in 1 4 hour candle, it'll just reverse everything. So 100 points, 200 points. So that's the nature of the beast. So we can just go as good as it gets and continue till it wants. But now that pressure, I'm seeing a little bit of pressure around it, and we are all the new contract, the what do you call the September contract? It will be September contract. Yes, ESU, that
Yes.
is 5564, and the M contract is 50, almost 5500. So
Okay. So it's a premium market, carrying charge market, because it's not backwardation. The deferred months have premiums. Do you want to share your screen, Nargis?
yes, I was just yeah, it it was not
There
letting
we
me
go.
do it because your screen was coming in. Now can you see it?
Yeah, we got it. We have your Twitter
Okay,
feed
okay.
here.
Yeah, so back in this is in the new one. Where did mine go? So I think back in we had the NQ cycle for 24K, um, and now I think it's almost there. Now it's 20,000, right? So 20,000 again is a mental number, right? Crossing over to the other side. So 2449, I'm looking for it to, see if it can give a reaction, albeit a short-term one, um, to, pull back a little bit. QQQ is also oh, this is SOXL. I mean, we'll get to it. But the semis had a fantastic run. Nvidia and Supermicro Computer, the meme stocks of the year, for
I'm kind of
example,
surprised they didn't take out the 2021 highs. I didn't know that. Have
the
they?
the SOXL, it's almost there. It's
Because
at the
they've been
last
so
head of the
strong.
supply. Yes,
Because many,
and
many, many other sectors have taken out their 2021 highs.
yes,
And this
SMH
is,
has though.
yeah, okay.
SMH is pretty good. So it's from the breakout, it's going, and I'm expecting around 280, 282 to give a reaction. For
Ver,
now we are just looking at a regular calm down
ver,
kind of a thing, nothing catastrophic. But but as far as semiconductor is concerned, it's trying to get there. There's still some room for it to catch up, which could mean it could exceed, whatever we are thinking. So for me, the stance is if I feel like okay, the number is around say let's say 280, then I'll give few more points for the grace because that's how the momentum indicates. Don't short it yet, but look for any spikes over it, and then whoosh a little bit pullback it may give.
okay.
So
Before you had something up and it had something about Amazon not making new highs. Was
yes,
that your comment?
Amazon, yes. Amazon is also, Amazon did make a new high though. It did.
Yeah, it did.
But
Barely.
recently, earlier it was just trying to figure out this supply. There's a lot of supply coming from 2020 to 2022 years of activity here. It was tough for it to do it. So, and then suddenly it did it. Now it's doing the same thing here, 4 months, 5 months.
Yeah.
And then either it tries for that 200 plus, just like Apple did finally after so many months, or, at this point to think that, okay, it'll crap and fall and come down. That is, but then the overall market needs to do that in order for most of the stuff to fall back into the demand and or rather below the demand. But right now it is still maintaining above the demand. So the idea could be that if the market continues up before resting or after resting, this should try to do the 200 thing.
Put up a
right
daily.
now,
Put up a daily.
yeah.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
Yeah. So currently it is just chopping. Yeah.
You have two drives. I've been. I would have thought with the last rally in the S&Ps, we would have been able to challenge it. I'm hoping we still do, because that's going to short candidate for me on a 3 drive to a top formation up around
Yes.
those highs
Yeah.
again.
See, a lot of gaps also. So the thing is, no, this gap is filled. This one is filled. This one is remaining. And it's a big gap, actually, 159.
That's my target.
So the earnings, we have July end should be earnings for them. So that could be a deciding point, either this side or that side.
When's their earnings?
The earnings is Thursday, July 25, it is showing. So somewhere around there. Definitely. It's mostly end of July. So this could be fine, 25th of July. First would be Netflix, though.
Okay. How about the banks?
Yes, GS had a fantastic run once it crossed over 420, I think. It was a mark or three late 400s. Once it crossed over, such a big consolidation. See, from 23 December to approximately 4 months of or 4 months basically, and a big nice run. Again, this does look like a bull flag. And trying to break out. So we are already at 457, another almost 40 points for 500, and 471 it had already done. If that is a bull flag, then
sure looks different than the XLF. Put the XLF up now that people have seen Goldman.
XLF it is not doing anything.
Doesn't it look like Amazon? If we get one more high, I'm waiting. So I have some 3 drive candidates I just wanted to share with you. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So we have Amazon. We just saw XLF if they make new highs. And now look at the Dow. Go to a daily. All right, or a weekly. That Ellioticians, if we get one more high, would call that a ending diagonal.
Top. Yes. So around 42,000 it can. 40 to 42,000.
Yeah.
So that's where it can, because that's the level I have.
Okay.
So
those are my spec short plays that it's taking parabolic run in the S&Ps and NASDAQ, and they haven't even gotten to the levels to complete the pattern. So I'm trying to be patient for the pattern to complete.
Yeah, so if we cross over here, then a good chance to hit on the other side between 40 to 42, depending on how much time it takes. Immediately would be around 40,000, but subsequent, if it takes few months or something, then that 42 close, or at least close to 42 can be done. And of course,
so that's just a contrarian in me looking for shorts in one of the most raging bull markets of my lifetime.
Yes, but for now, I'm just looking at more of a calm down kind of a thing versus overboughtness kind of a thing versus I mean, that's how it starts, right? Because we cannot say, okay, it is a top, it's an actual top, and you're going to fall and die kind of a thing. That only a little bit when the major levels breaches your idea of stuff happening.
First you need a
people
reversal. But that
yes,
is
people are,
parabolic. That is
yeah,
parabolic.
yes. So people were generally surprised why Nvidia went to 1200. I actually had a cycle target at 1225. And I was, for a long time, it was, I mean, see, it has, what do you call it? It has split now. So, but up till now, I have the older numbers in my head, which is, around 440. It was 441 was the number, and it did a lot of dancing around that before, in January, it broke out that earnings, right?
Yeah.
And it never looked back. And it was the most parabolic. And the first thing it hit was 729, which was the midpoint of the cycle. And after that, it continued to 1225 directly. Now it has set up, it has taken out, and the new target for Nvidia is 225. I mean with the split basically, of course. So we have still a lot to go, but I would ideally prefer, it giving back some at least till here, that demand area, and then launching up.
Yeah.
Versus, I mean, it can continue. There's nobody to say it cannot do it, or whatever the meme is driving stuff. But ideally, I would want to see a little bit of a bull flag, this thing come down, and then try to launch again. That would also give, new money to come in, because right now, I mean, what would you buy? Like, yeah, it's a good stock, it's a good company, good product, but I wouldn't, I mean, in terms of investing idea, I wouldn't like, put new money in and then hold it, because there's always a risk of this. Trade, yes, you can trade, you can swing short, you can swing long. It is giving a good money. 2 days ago, we did it around 121, and I moved fast to 136 in a few days. When was 121? 121 was right here, right? So 118, 121, 10, 12 points, not bad. I mean, very good on, I mean, considering the post-split stock price is kind of 100, very good, right?
Yes.
NVDL also. So trading has been fantastic on these memes, basically. Super microcomputer. Say, oh my God, this looks like a too much noise, but yes, I'm hoping for this to do this thing. So currently it is having trouble between 900 to 931 to take it out. But if it does, then it should test around 1100 to 1200, at least the retest of the high to these heads, and from
This
there
is
we'll.
this is the company that owns all that Bitcoin, right?
No, that is
Oh no, that's
MSTR.
micro.
This is
Yeah.
semiconductor.
Okay. It's
So
micro
technically,
strategies. Yeah.
yes, this was the first one to go meme before
Okay.
Nvidia took over. So
Okay.
it's very popular among the meme traders and the chip traders, basically. So
Okay.
that's there,
I
and
was
yeah,
I was curious. Do you have a view on gold and TLT?
yes, yes,
Because gold's been moving sideways for about 2 months.
but
Are we due
yes,
to break out?
yeah,
Which way?
yeah. So it's a chop between 2000 and
Right.
2500, but technically 2200. It's been, kind of holding.
Yeah.
And from there, 2200, it tries, but I think weekly may give a better idea about it. So
Yeah.
2200 and 2280, so technically there, and then it tries to go back, and it's thinking what to do. 2500 is a major milestone. um, I did have a target at 3700 a long time ago. We had talked, I think last year or maybe before that, and we were looking for this breakout, right? Earlier it was
Yeah.
hovering around the all-time high, and it took its own sweet time to go and hit this 2500, and now again it is thinking before it wants to make show its hand. Can it come down and test this orange line? Yes, it can. Nothing to stop it. But ideally, this zone, once it settles, it can launch its next to at least 3000. 3,000 to 3,100. That's where I'm looking for it. But again, it may take its time to consolidate. I generally look at this also. So yeah, it is trending.
Okay.
The yearly candle.
How about the move in interest rates? Like TLT's been performing pretty well recently.
Actually, yes, TLT. TLT. We started trading around 85, 87, right? 87 was the low, and 91, till 93, I traded it, and then I got out around, thinking this would cause resistance, and it is hovering here. So this does kind of look like a breakout. If it can do that, then this is how to drive. We can look at, and overall, yeah. So overall,
bullish.
Bullish, yes. The weekly gives a better. This looks like the Tesla stock. Tesla has the exact same kind of a noisy, but trying to do this thing. So I'm hoping this would try to do it, and but other than that, yes, other than that, this is your fallback. So if it gets rejected here, for example, if it gets rejected here, then you'll have a third point fall on this line somewhere. This is the distance, so the equal distance somewhere here. If we can see that, and from these 3 points, we can launch higher. That generally can happen. I've seen it happen. So, see, the structure is very similar. It's a mirroring, noisy here, noisy, 3 points. Third point would be somewhere here. We can measure the distance basically, and then do that if there is a failure somewhere here. Yeah.
I doubt it.
Yes.
Third drive. And,
yes.
I usually wait for third drives. And, all right. So there, little head and shoulders for Tesla.
Yeah. So Tesla is holding 177, and this 118 to 189 has been its point of rejection, where it has not been able to, throw it out. So a lot of noise here too. So it has to capture all this noise here. Once it does, your 210 is what I'm looking at. Once this is an important milestone for it. 209 so I'll just 209 to 2010, because the more time it takes, the decimals gets adjusted. So that's why I'm saying 209 to 10. We'll assume 210 for now. Once it gets its hold on it, this is launching higher. I have a target to around 300 something for now. It needs to overcome this supply. 300 to all this all the way. First, always the retest of the high, and then think of making a new high. Of course, Tesla does have a cycle target higher, but again, it has Musk also attached with it, so that's a controversy in itself. But 210, I will look for it, and once that is done, this has a very good chance of launching higher. So look out for this one. This has been sleeping for a very long time. If the markets are good and we are making a melt up kind of a thing and continuing till the midpoint 5,900, then definitely, just like Apple, this should also launch higher. This is one other thing for me. Apple, 193, it thought 169 to 183 was its launching pad. 169 was its previous cycle high. 183 launched it higher to 361 is the target on Apple.
Wow.
Remember we had talked, I think my last interview, your headline, you had put it as Apple target as 361. So it is coming from some time. Again, Apple took its own sweet time consolidating between red and green. Now the launch was very fast, furious. From 193, it directly went to 219, I think 219 or 220, right? Now, big move, trying to think 225 is where, I was thinking it may take a rest or, sideways. So it is doing that sideways for now. And, some overboughtness also it is trying to do. Then from there, we'll see whether above 225, it has a, interest towards 250, or, it pulls back a little bit. So now 211 is where it is holding. So below 211, we'll see some weakness. The idea to pull back and retest 200 or so, hammer it down nicely. And above 225, we'll see trying to go towards 250, 257. And for that, we need, for that, the market, the QQQs need to still
really
hold
go.
everything nicely. But, they have been very smart about doing things, which I've been talking about it also. Your
How they rotate.
NVIDIA, rotate, right? Because NVIDIA, the momentum, they have to cool off after the big runs, then Apple takes over. Now Apple would want to cool off a little bit, then immediately Tesla, they started firing up. So the whole idea is that the
Well,
time
do you
for
know why?
QQQ to yeah,
Do you know why they're doing that? It's
the idea,
illegal. It's illegal to go to cash.
I
You
know.
get fined. You get fined. You have to rotate into another
Yes,
equity or sector because it's
yes, then
illegal to go to cash.
I
You
know.
can't do it. You get drummed out of the industry. It's illegal. Cash is
Yeah,
illegal. Why don't we wrap it with WTI?
yes.
Because I
See,
saw something interesting here. Okay.
yes.
So they
So,
shook out all the bulls with that move after OPEC, Nargis, down
yeah,
there. And now they're
yeah,
just squeezing the bears. What's this
yeah.
chart say to you?
So for me, 78.3 is the magic number. So it has been
Okay.
resting on this trend line so far, but not able to take out this uh, this supply, right? It
Yeah.
tested once where it went to 130.
Yeah.
0.5, that number has not been touched yet, RTH. So that is where I'm living by. Until and unless that number has been touched, the bull on oil is there. I mean, in the meantime, it can continue all of this, but future is there for this 130.5. So currently, this is an issue, and this is the support. So as long as 78.3 is holding, I mean, as we go, the decimal may, change 70.3
Yeah.
to 70.4 or plus minus something, but, on a larger 78, we can say, as long as it is holding, this can, this is a bull case, and it will try to launch higher. This monthly candle also looks good.
That is a nice
And
looking candle.
yeah,
Yeah.
82, around 82 or so, then it may try to take over this supply where it has last gone to 90, 91. And then you have your 100, 107. See, the top of this is around 108,
Yeah.
approximately.
I see
So
that. Okay.
yeah,
All
so
right.
that's
So
there.
you got time for one more if you want.
Which one was it for me? I'm looking for.
Dollar?
Yes,
Anything
I
you
know. I know
want.
you were talking about CAD and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So this is also 100 to 107. It has just been going and doing nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking whether it again wants to do a W and launch higher. This, because this is kind of untested.
Yes.
So it may try to do that. Um, so for on a quarterly basis also, lot of consolidation and noise. It hasn't been able to break 100. So chances are it may try to break over 106, 107, where it is trying to rest. So technically, around here, 106-ish, somewhere there. And then these two candles, right? Very clean candles. So when DXY will launch, I think it will directly launch to 114, 115,
And
because
if it
there is
breaks
nothing here.
down, if it breaks
Breaks
down
down,
under
then
100,
yeah, under 100, yes. 98 to 92 is the first cut. It wants to do it because it has this whole structure to support. But these two candles are very clean. So it can directly hit 114 if it holds 106 sixes. and so that's where that launch can happen. The
Looks like after that 2 nice candles you said, the last nice candle was impulsive down, red
yes,
candle, and
yeah,
you've worked off the oversold condition in time rather
yeah,
than price. Could be a
yes,
flag, could be a flag for
yes,
lower.
could be a flag, and if we do that, 50%. So yeah, so it matches with this. So this is
So
122,
that's how
and
you
then
get 7,500, Nargis, with your numbers. Lower
yeah,
yields, lower dollar is jet fuel for equities.
yeah. So
That's how
currently
you get your 7,000.
we are exceeding the midpoints a little bit,
Yeah.
and I have 56 to 5,900. The only thing is, will it keep continuing beyond 56.25 directly to 5,900, or it would want to rest a bit and then launch it? So currently the price is still going up on bearish divergence. See, the
Yeah,
divergence is so nice
I
and
do.
strong.
Yeah.
So I would not get caught in the meme thing, right? Especially
Yeah.
the investing mindset. Trading is fine. We trading is there for, and I mean, personally, I think there shouldn't be a bias of I'm long, I'm short. You trade the price. You get good short opportunities as well. So take it, do it. If the idea is that you're here to
Okay.
make money, then have an
Yeah.
open mind on both sides.
All right. When you're scalping, what you've showed a lot of macro charts. What time frame do you trade off of?
Trade off, I mean, I do 30 minutes
Okay.
to see, and then it definitely gives a good move. And 4 hours, I track for any what do you call, any puking, because specifically on ES, because ES loves 4 hours, right? So
Okay.
it'll do this one big candle, and then after a
Right.
few days or a few weeks, this candle will get reversed, right? So
Okay.
see, this such a nice um, parallel lines you have, right? So it'll go
Yeah.
go go, and then one fine day it'll come down here.
Okay. Someone's
So
asking about uranium. Do you follow it?
uranium, CCJ, right?
Yeah, that's the
No,
chemicals.
uranium, this is
It's
not
a
uranium.
uranium stock. It
Yeah,
is.
yeah, non-energy metal. Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
was, because there was also chatter a lot some time ago, and people were like, oh, nice.
Yeah. But it's
Yeah,
kind of
generally above
stalled.
50, it is, yes, it is stalled, and
I
trying to
would
test
say
back.
it's an energy play, and if
Yeah,
the narrative is correct about WTI over 100, that's
yeah,
constructive uranium as a alternative energy source, in my view.
yeah, definitely, definitely. There's a lot of other, I mean, your what do you call that widowmaker? NG.
Oh yeah, yeah, natural
That
gas.
that thing is, they're killing it, the gas things, for a long time. The poor thing is not getting any breaks. It comes till 3 and they shoot it down. It comes to 3, they shoot it down. So far that is happening.
Yeah,
But as of now,
maybe
it
one
does
more
look,
drive. Yeah, it looks
yes.
like it wants to
So
come out of here.
come out of here. The moment it comes out of here, the launching would be very good, because see, these two red candles on a monthly basis,
Yeah,
this will need resolution.
right.
So your upside could be from 4.4 to 6.3,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm
Um,
thinking. Yeah,
yes. So
$5.
this launch could be very powerful. Boil, this is the most dangerous stock ever.
Well, women don't have to worry about trading it because
Yeah.
it's not a, you know, it's a widow maker, not a widower
Yes.
maker. So you could
Yeah.
trade it without dying. Us men, we get heart attacks trading it. So yeah,
Yes.
women are tougher anyway. I don't care what people say. So Narj, it's great batting the ball around with you today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I know, I mean, it's a Juneteenth holiday. I didn't realize I was so, but yeah, I'll find something to do. But yes.
All right.
Good day to you also. And let's see if this time is also a charm and we do get a pullback on ES, at least for a calm down. Just a spa time pullback, nothing much, but let's see. Maybe it is time. Quad witching week, so yes, and today is a holiday, so Thursday, Friday could be nice action because they will have to. I'm not sure if they are not expiring VIX today. Then did it expire yesterday?
I
Um,
don't know.
yeah, that should be there because VIX is another thing. This is the one thing I wanted to point out. If we have one more minute,
Go ahead.
this is
Yeah, major
this is
support.
yes, major support between
Yeah.
12-ish. It has 12-ish to 11, and if it does, some look for launching back up. So far, it hasn't breached these zones, to 11 and 12.
Yeah.
So and it is ES is making newer highs, but this is not. It is holding 12 point something to 12 point something under 13, and that's where it is doing. So if we get a sudden reversal, I wouldn't be surprised.
And if
So
we get through 20, we're going to 28
the
or
VIX, you
higher.
mean?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Those
You have
spikes
higher
definitely come in.
numbers? Do you have higher numbers than
Oh,
28?
high. Yes, see, 22.5 has
Yeah.
been its failure zone because those were the major numbers. I'll have to look up new numbers. It may have
Okay.
come down a little bit. Maybe now it would be somewhere around 18 or 19, I think. But
Okay.
um,
Still nice move. Yeah.
yeah, so see, this is a very nice ascending, tangent
Yeah.
going on. And if it wants to launch, who's to say, it cannot do it. So the spikes have been there, this is these intervals are, I feel, are timed intervals. See, so
Yeah.
whenever the time is up, the curling happens, and then that one big move, to 50 to 80, that is there, and it will come sometime. When, I don't know, but that's what it does, looking from the pattern. So I always go and look for pattern, and your macros, your whatever the world stuff happening, they do happen when these intervals are exhausted.
Okay. And the best place for people to follow you on X at Nargis
Yeah,
with two R's,
yes, yes,
NARRGIS 007. And that's
yes,
her CIA number
yeah,
for going out there and hunting
yes,
all the algos that are trying to
yes,
hurt
Nargis
us, hurt
007.
us little guys. So great talking to you, Nargis. Thank
You
you
too,
very
Dale.
much.
Have a good day. Have a good holiday. Rest up for tomorrow.
Okay. All right. You too, and we'll talk again uh, late summer. Okay.
Yes, sure.
All right. Nargis
Good day.
Motorola. Follow her. She's passionate and her numbers are work, and she is a mad scientist of technical analysis. She's excellent. So at least the minimum follow her on X at Nargis NARRGIS 007. All right, I'm glad you guys enjoyed. See you tomorrow. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Adios. You join the team in 7 minutes on the morning edge. Adios, everyone. See you, Erlen. You're welcome. Sinatra, Marcus. Take it easy, guys. Thanks again, Nargis.